Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. It's felt like such a long time since I've sat down to actually film a video and it hasn't been a vlog of sorts. Yeah, I just haven't really had the time or the mental energy to film a sit down video. So yeah, it's taken until November, which is quite a while. But yeah, I really felt compelled tonight to film this video about hitting the wall. So part of the reason why there hasn't been any videos the past couple of months that haven't been France vlogs is because of what I'm going to be talking about in this video, and partly why it took so long to edit all of the France footage. So yeah, today's video is about hitting the wall, and I don't just mean that as in the well-known sort of term in marathon running of hitting the wall. So I'm not just meaning about running, I'm meaning in life as well, and just sort of hitting a mental block. And I want to discuss in this video how I've sort of managed to get through it. So in September and October this year, I have had a massive mental block in many areas of my life, and it is just coming to the end of November now, almost in December, which will be next week. So yeah, it's been like a few weeks since I feel like I've really got out of it. I feel like a lot of people, I feel like everybody goes through it, but not many people always want to talk about it, or they just feel like they're being lazy, but in reality it is actually sort of pretty much just hitting a wall. I think for me this year has been a tough one mentally. I mean, it's been an amazing year, don't get me wrong, but it has been a tough one mentally, and the summer tested me a lot. The summer mentally was a really difficult one, and it taught me a lot. Looking back at it now, I think September and October really was sort of a burnout period for me. I am talking about running as well. It did affect the running too, which really hit me hard. I think that was sort of the first thing I realised that had gone. It just felt like an invisible barrier that I couldn't get through. At points in October I felt like I got through it, but I hadn't. I was still trying to overcome it. Mid-September I had a half marathon that I really wanted to do well in, and unfortunately I didn't do as well as I'd hoped I would. I've just been looking forward to it all year, and I really wanted to beat the personal best that I'd made for myself in March, I think it was. I think deep down I knew that I'd hit this wall. I couldn't bring myself to train. No matter what I did, I just couldn't get myself to go out on a run. I didn't want to do it. I wasn't enjoying it, which was really difficult because running is a massive part of my life. And yeah, honestly, it's only just come back in the last few weeks. It also affected my creativity, the things I'm trying to like make a success, and yeah, I just couldn't get myself to film any YouTube videos. I've got so many ideas to film and edit. I couldn't get myself to edit the France videos, which was really annoying because all I wanted to do was edit them. It affected loads of stuff. I haven't been able to write, I haven't been able to make art. The only thing that sort of stuck was still going to work, but I really did hit a low patch in October, which I think was the wake-up call for me. I needed to get out of this horrible phase that I was in. I mean, it wasn't a choice that I made. I didn't want to hit this wall. I think you really can't control something like that, like it just happens. But yeah, I had a very tough few days in October. Honestly, I think was a turning point for me. Consciously, I really wanted to get out of it, but something in my brain just wasn't getting it. I think that weekend was a real wake-up call for those sort of inner parts of my brain that weren't working. That did stop me from going to work, which was scary because I always go to work. So that day it stopped everything for me. It stopped me from going to work. It just stopped everything in my life, which was a scary feeling. I just had so much I wanted to do and to accomplish and to get things in place for next year. And I just couldn't do it, and that day I felt like everything fell apart. I couldn't get out of bed. The following day me and mum had something that we were going to go to, and she didn't drag me out, but I thought, right, I need to get myself out of this. And I think, yeah, that weekend in October, the really hard one, was sort of a turning point, and I started slowly getting back out of it. I can't really explain it, to be honest. I mean, I've got a list here on my laptop of ways I tried to get myself out of it, and I think all of them did help in some way. I think in the time period that it happened in, there are a lot of big decisions that I was trying to make. Since experiencing mental health problems, my brain tends to sort of stall or like freeze if I have to make decisions. It's not like all the time, but it is the majority of the time making decisions, and it can make life like annoying because decisions have to be made all the time. Yeah, there are a lot of big decisions that made my brain sort of stool, and I think that as well was a reason why I sort of hit this wall. But I can remember a time when like I didn't have that and I wasn't like this. I mean, I'm definitely so much better than I was. Yeah, I have made a little list here of ways I tried to get myself out of this horrible phase the past couple of months. But like with anything, and I feel like I always say this, it really is just a matter of time. I feel like I always say that in any sort of video like this that I make. Number one that I've written down on my list is I tried hard to be patient with myself. Patience is really important. I think you've got to understand that no matter what you do, it's, like I said, it is a matter of time. You have to be patient with yourself because the brain isn't something you can fix overnight. I couldn't just flick a switch and it was gone. I had to be patient with myself and understand that my brain for some reason needed time to work through stuff, and it had probably just been lagging for a while and it just had frozen, so I needed to give myself time. Yeah, I think an important one is to be patient with yourself. Another thing that I've written down is celebrate every little victory throughout this rough patch. Even if I just managed to run for a mile, I really celebrated that as a little victory, because just getting my trainers on and going out for a run was like a mammoth thing in my head. I really celebrated making these little steps, and if I managed to edit one of the France videos, if I managed to stick at it for like 10 minutes without losing any concentration, then I'd give myself a chocolate bar or like a banana or something to say well done, because honestly, like, my concentration was so all over the place, I just couldn't sit down and focus on it. So I think celebrating the tiny victories really helps, because every tiny victory leads to one massive victory of defeating that wall. Another thing that I've written down is I tried to speak kindly to myself, and I tried to say affirmations as much as I could, affirming all the good things about yourself. So I would tell myself that I did love myself, that I could do everything that I wanted to do, and things like that. Like, it's a bit silly like talking about it. I think a lot of people don't really understand, but I think it's really important and it sinks into quite a deep place. Another thing is that I made lists of everything I needed to do and I prioritised it all. So stuff I really needed to get done urgently, stuff I could get done in like the next few weeks. I find that working under pressure doesn't always help me, but sometimes working to a deadline really does help. My memory is just atrocious. Like, I won't remember stuff, so I have lists all the time. I constantly make lists of things that I have to do because it will just go straight out of my head, and it was really satisfying being able to tick those off every time I got something done. So yeah, for me, I don't know if that will work for everyone, but list making helped because I think I tried to categorize my head a bit better than it had been. And the last one that I've written down is that I spent a lot of time working alone through this. Spending time on your own, meditating. I meditate almost every day. Doing yoga, doing calming things I'd recommend actually. Yeah, I just spent a lot of time on my own. I think that meant there was no distractions. I did need a lot of help with trying to get motivation to do things, but yeah, being on my own really helped. I think just being in my own thoughts was something that I had to overcome, because from the summer I didn't want to be alone with my own thoughts because they were kind of not the greatest things to listen to. Slowly from this, spending time on my own really helped, because it just meant I could figure things out. Having that precious time every day on your own, I think, is really beneficial to your head for processing things. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I just really felt compelled to film this video, and this is the first one back since hitting this wall. And yeah, I just want to emphasize that I think it is healthy to go through phases like this, even if you really didn't want to go through a phase like that. Obviously something in your head was burning out and it had to happen for a reason. So I always think everything happens for a reason. It just happened. You can't really explain it. Yeah, anyway, I'd better go because I don't want to make it too long. Yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of your week. I can't wait for the coming videos that I'm going to be making. Thank you for all your support as per usual. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.